How does a major WWE superstar return to one of the company's biggest events, the Royal Rumble, without anyone knowing until the moment her music hits? That's exactly what happened with Alexa Bliss in 2025. And the story behind her shocking return is even more chaotic, emotional, and last minute than anyone could have imagined. Most fans assume a return of this scale involves months of preparation, custom-made gear, promotional meetings, and carefully laid out plans. But in Bliss's case, it was nothing short of a last-minute scramble. In fact, the entire thing nearly didn't happen. Alexa Bliss hadn't been seen on WWE programming since early 2023. Her absence wasn't just because of creative decisions, it involved deeply personal reasons and behind-the-scenes drama that fans were never privy to until now. In a candid new interview on the Nikki and Brie show, Bliss opened up about everything, and when she finally broke her silence, it became clear just how intense, nerve-wracking, and emotional her comeback really was. Let's start with the night it all began. It wasn't a scheduled return planned well in advance with weeks of training and media build-up. No! According to Bliss, she received a call around midnight, mere hours before the Royal Rumble. She was home, fast asleep, and was suddenly thrust into a whirlwind of activity. The return request came so suddenly that she found herself quietly digging through old gear in the middle of the night, trying not to wake her baby. "I'm in my house at 3 a.m., trying not to wake up the baby because my gear is right next to her closet," Bliss explained, "and I'm digging through old stuff just wondering what still fits me." She was operating on pure adrenaline and anxiety, trying to throw together something that would look good in front of millions of fans worldwide. It wasn't about glamour or grandeur, it was about making something work fast. Bliss had recently become a mother, giving birth during her time away from WWE. She'd spent nearly 2 years off television, much of it on maternity leave. During that time, WWE Creative had planned for her to be involved in a storyline alongside Bray Wyatt and the mysterious Uncle Howdy character. But that storyline was cut short after Bray Wyatt's sudden and tragic death in August 2023. The loss devastated many within the company, and for Bliss, it meant her creative direction was left without a foundation. In the months that followed, talks between Bliss and WWE didn't go smoothly. At the center of the issue was her contract. WWE reportedly expected Bliss to fulfill the remaining time left on her old deal, citing their standard practice of freezing contracts during long absences. Bliss and her management team, however, believed the circumstances had changed. She had taken time off for pregnancy and childbirth, and her team pushed for a new deal with better pay, updated terms, and improved perks. This disagreement caused a lengthy back and forth. The result? Her long-awaited return was stalled. When WWE finally reached out at the last minute for a surprise Rumble appearance, Bliss had to make a tough decision quickly. There was no fanfare, no build-up, just a series of frantic phone calls and quiet packing in the dead of night. To keep the return a secret, WWE flew Bliss into a city that wasn't even hosting the Rumble. From there, she was driven to the actual venue to avoid airport sightings and fan speculation. She arrived backstage just 2 hours before showtime, tired, unprepared, and nervous. "No one knew I was there," she said, "not even the girls. They didn't know until I was standing in Gorilla, about to go through the curtain." And even in that moment, she admitted her biggest fear wasn't botching a move or forgetting her spots, it was that the crowd wouldn't react. Bliss hadn't been in a WWE ring for nearly 2 years. Fans can be fickle, and when you're gone that long, especially in an industry that's constantly moving forward, you start to wonder if people still care. Before her entrance, she had a quiet moment backstage with Stephanie McMahon, who helped calm her nerves. Stephanie has long been one of Bliss's biggest supporters, and just hearing her words helped bring clarity to a stressful situation. Once the music hit and Bliss walked through the curtain, the crowd erupted. "That was one of those moments where I actually got to take it in," she said. "A lot of times when I'm doing my entrance, I'm already thinking about what's next, planning the match in my head, but this time, I just stopped and felt it. It was pretty cool." It turned out to be one of the most emotional entrances of her career. Fans weren't just cheering for a returning superstar, they were welcoming back a performer they hadn't seen in years. Someone who had been through enormous personal challenges and professional uncertainty. And she was walking down that ramp not as the same person who had left. She was now a mother, someone who had changed both inside and outside the ring. Since that unforgettable night, Bliss has quickly re-established herself as a major player on Friday Night SmackDown. She's currently involved in the women's tag team title picture and is set to team with Charlotte Flair in a fatal four-way match at the upcoming Evolution Premium Live event. And yes, that's the same Charlotte Flair who is widely seen as one of the most dominant female wrestlers of all time. Teaming with someone like Flair speaks volumes about WWE's faith in Bliss and her ability to deliver. But that doesn't mean everything is suddenly perfect behind the scenes. WWE's recent handling of Bliss highlights a larger issue within the company. How can a multi-time champion and one of the most recognizable female wrestlers in WWE history be asked to return with such little preparation? Why did it take so long to sort out her contract? And why was this return rushed rather than planned with the care and respect it deserved? To be fair, WWE's internal process isn't always straightforward when it comes to talent who've been away for extended periods, especially for reasons like pregnancy. The company often expects the talent to make up for that time, but in Bliss's case, she and her team pushed back, arguing that her value had grown and that the old deal no longer reflected her worth. It's a reminder of how complex these situations can be. On one hand, you have a company trying to manage dozens of contracts, TV shows, and long-term storylines. On the other hand, you have talent who want to feel respected and properly compensated, especially after going through major life events like childbirth. In the end, Bliss's return wasn't just about getting back in the ring, it was about reclaiming her spot, her worth, and her identity as a performer and a mother. And make no mistake, this wasn't just any return, this was a test. Could Alexa Bliss still deliver in the ring? Could she connect with fans after so much time away? Could she juggle being a mom with being a full-time WWE superstar? The answer, based on her performance and fan response, is a resounding yes. There's a deeper level of appreciation now when fans see her perform, knowing what she went through staying up all night, packing in silence, sneaking through airports, managing contract disputes, makes every appearance feel more significant. Her entrance wasn't just part of a storyline, it was the culmination of 2 years of emotional, physical, and professional challenges. WWE fans can sometimes forget how human these performers really are. Behind every surprise return is a mountain of stress, coordination, and emotion. For Alexa Bliss, returning to WWE wasn't just a matter of walking down a ramp, it was about proving to herself, to WWE, and to the fans that she still belongs, maybe now more than ever. So, what do you think about the wild behind-the-scenes story of Alexa Bliss's return? From midnight phone calls and 3 a.m. packing sessions to that unforgettable pop from the crowd, her comeback was anything but ordinary. It shows just how unpredictable the wrestling world can be, and how sometimes, the most powerful moments are the ones you never see coming. One thing is for sure, Alexa Bliss isn't done yet. With Evolution on the horizon and major storylines ahead, she's once again a force to be reckoned with in WWE. The question now is, what's next for her? If her past is any indication, don't be surprised if she's at the center of WWE's most talked about moments in the months to come.